see my son unsupervised and on a regular basis, and for more than a couple of hours at a time. The overnights were working really well. I don't understand why she doesn't want more time to herself. She's she's in the Guard. She has to be gone. Whatever it is, like one weekend a month or whatever. It's just selfish of her to not allow me time with my son.
Okay. So let's have Casey come back in here. But when she comes back, are you feeling just from this conversation that there's anything that you'd want to say or to start the conversation off? Or
I'll say whatever I have to get more time with my son.
Okay. Is that something you'd like to say to her?
Sure.
Okay. Get back in here. So, coming back from our separate meetings, is there anything that you both wanted to say to start us off?
I'll start, and Casey, I know you haven't been around for the last year, and it's not your fault, but I feel like I've shown that I'm a good father to our son, and I think that it's undeniable that it's better for a kid to have two parents in their life than just one. And my goal in bringing you here today and setting this up was just to get to a place where I can see my son again. And if it has to be supervised visits, that's fine for a while, but I want to know that we're heading in a direction where I have more one-on-one time with my son, overnights with my son. I want to be moving in that direction, and that's what I need to know. I want to stay out of the courts, that I do, but that's where I need to know that we're going, is what I have to say.
Is there anything you wanted to say, Casey?
I'm willing to go back with our supervised visit schedule. Like I said, I want to see how it goes. I want to see the trust build, and I want to see what could be worked out, yes, outside of court, in terms of support and, what it's going to look like before I can say that that's what will happen. We'll get unsupervised. It wasn't my choice that my parents let it go that way. They did that strictly out of their own decision, and that sucks for me. We can go back to the original schedule
And be moving toward something more like I had when you were gone.
I don't know.
Well, it sounds like at least you're both interested in avoiding a court battle, and probably what we're here today is to figure out what the visitation rights are going to look like. Mm-hmm. And some of the issues that are there is how those visitations are going to go, supervision, if there's going to be some kind of unsupervised visits, the timeline of what that would look like, and just support and communication in general. Am I missing anything? No. So, supervision. I think what I've heard from both of you is that you want to have you both are interested in having some kind of supervision, whether it's supervised or you want unsupervised. You're at least willing to do the supervised visits you just said, right? Mm-hmm. And what that would look like. Sam, you want to move towards unsupervised visits. Mm-hmm. So can we talk? Let's just start with supervised visits. What that might look like, or how that went before I think you said like it was before, and I should probably
Yeah.
write that down.
I mean, we just meet like in the park or a restaurant or something.
And for how long were those visits?
Couple hours.
Whatever she decides, it's not really up to me.
Couple
Well,
hours.
Depends on our schedule, you know, now he's older and there's more going on.
Okay. So a couple hours. How often?
Once a week, once every 2 weeks. Not much.
So, thinking of that as a baseline, moving, we still have it on the table as the idea of unsupervised visits. How is that a place that we're going to be able to get to here? When you,
To decide to do unsupervised now?
or not now, like today, but if that's something in the future, what needs to happen to get there?
I mean, I feel like I already said, you know, I mean, I don't know what it'll look like, but there's gotta be more trust. I have to, you know, I've been away for a long time. I don't know what it's been like.
So Casey, what would you need to see?
I mean, just like I said before, I need to see how they are together. I need to see what Nick is feeling, how he is after we see Sam, you know, and I mean, I guess I'll look at it in a different way now to try to gauge the trust and try to gauge how Sam is with him and how Nick reacts to him instead of just, you know, visiting Dad and leaving, you know. I can think about that, you know, potential of unsupervised. I can look at that when we're together, when they're together.
Now you said, because before you were saying that you how long have you been back for?
It's been about 4 weeks.
4 weeks. So you're kind of like taking you're kind of taking time. So that Sam kind of has an idea of what we're looking like to revisit that. Do you have a timeline that you could offer of when you'd want to introduce this discussion, or have this discussion again around supervised visits?
I mean, I guess it depends on how often we see him. You know, we have to like work around a schedule of work and take care, and he's gonna see my parents, of course. I just did that for temporary. So, I don't know, you know, however many times it takes to see something different. 2 months.
How does that sound for?
I mean, I can do supervised visits for 2 months, but at that point, you know, we're either going to need to come back here, or, you know, I need to know that she's going to follow through and hold up her end of the bargain.
Well, I haven't agreed to anything. I've just agreed to be open to thinking about it and to look at it. I haven't said it's going to happen in 2 months.
Well, what I'm kind of seeing here, maybe let's make sure that I'm understanding this correct. What you are agreeing to, though, is doing supervised visits.
Mhm.
Okay. And you're agreeing to have a discussion in 2 months approximately back of unsupervised visits. And then, so another issue is just the communication of how this is all going to kind of around visitation, how that's going to work, and also we still have the issue of support too on the table. So, how the communication hasn't seemed like it's been too good. So, how would you both like to change that?
I mean, I would like her to call me, you know, every Monday. I'm off on Mondays, so if she calls every Monday to either tell me how Nick is doing or to set up our, you know, visitation for that week. That's what I'd like to see happen, some consistency.
Mondays are fine. I mean, you can call too.
Well, I do call, but I need to get a call back.
So Monday seems like it's a good day. Do we need to figure out who's gonna call who?
I'll call her.
I'll call you back in a month.
Okay.
I just needed a week.
So Sam will call Casey. And you will call back. Time, do we need to establish a time or just Monday's fine?
Just Mondays.
Okay, all right. So, and that's to discuss this week's, that week's visitation,
Or if I haven't seen him, I want an update on how he's doing.
or just general updates, okay? Support. You know, that is something that we didn't talk a lot about. You know, financial support, how this all kind of works. Where are you both at with?
Well, we've got, I mean, it's kind of worked out for now. I guess it will change a little bit, I don't know.
I mean, I feel like if I saw him more, I would just naturally be financially supporting more because I would be paying for things while he's with me. So, I mean.
And keeping the regular.
Yeah, and doing the regular payments that I've been doing. We kind of set that up a long ago.
So regular payments is already a financial process, like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's already set up.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So supervision, just to kind of recap, and I don't think I'm missing anything, the supervision would be once a week, couple hours, maybe one hour, and that would be a supervised visit. In about 2 months, we would be revisiting, or I'm sorry, you would be revisiting the issue of unsupervised visits, and a lot of that is kind of dependent, for Casey's, depending on how you're feeling looking at rapport in their relationship. You have both committed to communicating once a week, Monday phone calls. Sam, you're going to call Casey. Support is already established financially, and just, you know, as visitation increases, then that dynamic would change. It sounds like we want to talk more about that. Okay. Am I missing anything?
No.
So I'm going to write this up. Why don't we take a break? I'll write this up, and then we can kind of go from there, make sure that we have all our
Okay.
T's crossed and I's dotted, okay?
All right.